This presentation talks about lies, supported by a failing legal system in Utah. Does love hold forever? It started so wonderful. Bound for time and all eternity. And the beautiful dream kept going. During the course of our marriage, 2 beautiful children were born, who grew really close to my heart. A 3rd child was born, but I wasn't at home anymore. Was that the beautiful dream? The new child, I only saw for 3 minutes and never again. The question came up, am I really the biological father, or was the child conceived while she lived out of state with her family? October 2011. The road to eternal marriage got the first damages. Does love really hold forever? Another family member dictated our marriage. Another family member who I had a relation to because of the person that I married tried to dictate our marital life. October 2011. A family member of my spouse came by from another state to drop off things that we had in storage. Here arose the first issue. She stayed longer than agreed, made me sit down in my own apartment to talk to me in regards to how I should run my family. Am I married to her? Last but not least, she got her will and my spouse moved out on me. Driving back to her home state because the family member put in her mind that I did not live up to my spouse's standard. 2 children and 2 grown-ups in a van that had seats for 3 people. You can call that illegal. 7 weeks of begging, my wife and children came back in December 2011. Wow, my spouse came back and we went to marriage counseling. Did it fix the problem? Not at all. It just put a small band-aid on a gaping wound. The real issue was regret that brought the marriage to fall. Regret is poison for any relationship. Did you know that codependency is an addiction too? She tried to control the situation, but she never understood that it was ruining the marriage. April 2012. The situation went out of hand. We applied for a mortgage because my spouse expressed the desire to purchase a house. A spending/income sheet was developed. What does it help if just one party put in the numbers? After 3 weeks the numbers were put in the sheet, but I heard the sentence after talking with each other. It is not my responsibility to keep up with such things. Wow, not your responsibility, just mine. Right there, the dream of a house just went out the window. The police was involved and a temporary protective order was filed. After an intense discussion, I was invited to leave. We needed time to cool off. My thought was, I most likely will never be invited to come back. It came true. She wanted me to meet her the next day but canceled the appointment due to a church activity. I knew this will have a bad ending. Instead meeting me, my spouse called the police and stated I would have violated her and went then to church after filing a late domestic violence report. Can you call that hypocritical? I was served 2 weeks later a temporary protective order. Wow, what was that all about? Hey, Dad. How can you tell when someone is lying? How do I know? Go and ask an expert. Mom. The police wrote down, I should have punched her, injured her arm, and on top of it, I would have hit the oldest child. In the preliminary hearing she doubled the amount of punches. It was stated that I injured all of the 70 other arm and I hit the younger child. What was that all about? Dear legal system, how about those changes? No, it just seemed like they wanted to establish an example of how much power they have. I saw many judges and only one seemed to have the proper view. Everyone else involved tried to force me into something. Was the problem I am not a citizen? It for sure felt as it were me against the legal system. It was reported as a late domestic violence. My spouse even denied medical attention offered by the police. Seriously, no medical attention. The decision. It took me a while to fully understand what was going on. By then I lost my job, spent much money in attorney fees, and visitation rights with the children were taken from me for the X time. Despite the failings of the legal system, I made a decision and will start a new life. My final thoughts. "We are still married for eternity" was said to me, after a mediation appointment. The following came to my mind. "Of all the lies I have heard, 'I love you' was my favorite.